Hey, I'm Jason Chisholm, Strong Arm Construction, and we're doing some tile work, and I came across something that was maybe difficult for a lot of people to understand how to do, and that would be to cut these holes up here for these in the shower, for your lights. You can come in and take a look at what we're doing here. And I've already cut this one right here, and now I've laid out, I did a little fat pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one's a lot easier than that one. That was a full circle almost in a tile, which is very hard to do, so that one took a lot of work. But anyway, I was thinking it might be nice to show you how to cut these holes. And what I did first is I laid number 1 right there, and then I just kind of put my tape on my tile and I marked it, and then I found something that was 4 1/8 inch, which I had a roll of tape that was perfect for that, and I just drew a circle around the other pieces. And so anyway, let's go back in there where the tile saw is, and I'll show you how to cut those pieces. All right, so what we have here is, this is the first piece that I cut. Then I realized I should probably show you how to do this. This is the second piece I'm working on right now, and then I'll show you. I've already got it started, so I'll go ahead and show you how I do it. And as you can see, I have my line there, and I've cut close to it. Now what I'm going to do is, this is freehand, so you got to be careful. Now remember also on these pieces that when you put your escutcheon, around your light fixture, it's just a escutcheon plate. It's going to cover this up. I like to try to get them as close as I can because it just looks good, and I like doing it that way. All right, there's that one. Let me show you how to start from the beginning on these. All right. What I do is I'll lay my tile down. I'll cut off as much of that corner as I can from this corner to this corner, and right about there to here. And my next step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut into each one of these. Now, I could lay it right here like this, and I could come in and cut, but with the circular edge right here, it won't be square. Okay, does that make sense? So I'm going to hold it like this so I can cut them all the way through square. So you see right here, you've got them all cut very thin, and they'll just kind of crack right off. And that saves you a lot of cutting time right there. Okay? So, I'll close my trash can. I'll come back and we'll start again right here on this corner. And I didn't cut the corners right there because I can just kind of cut right down the line pretty easy. how I do it, right there, if you can see that. And remember, for an amateur, somebody just doing this for the first time, if you mess up, don't worry about it. You just make sure you have extra tile, and you can start again. But it's better if you can try to do like I did, where you cut those down, and then you just kind of work it around by your line. And you want to use a pen line and not a pencil line, because the pencil line will just kind of disappear, and you'll be like, I can't see my line. And again, you got a cover plate that's going to cover at least a ½ inch of this, so it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to, really start cleaning that up, because it just really doesn't matter. And just get it pretty close where you can get your light bulb in and out without any problems, and you're good to go. So that's right there is 3 of our pieces, and you can see right here how they're coming together. I got one more to cut, and there it is. All right, thank you. Okay, we're back now. We've got the pieces installed here, and you can see that it came out pretty decent. That's going to be quite good. And I'm going to probably take some mud and just put a little mud around the edges just to seal it a little better. But really not necessary. That's just something I do. Try to keep any drafts from the attic or something like that from getting down to here. Anyway, so we're going to continue on, and we're actually going to right across this line right here. We're going to put a piece of this Schluter that we're using on these corners, and that'll be our edge, because on this material we couldn't find any surface bull noses. They didn't have any, so we're just having to kind of work with what we've got. And that's kind of why we did the corners over here too. We did the Schluter strips on the sides, and that should work out pretty well. Anyway, and this stuff right here also matches the hardware that we're using for the faucet stuff, and all of our hardware that's going to go on the walls, and the faucet and so it's all matching materials, which is a good thing. All right. If you'd like to see some more of the tile work, we'd be glad to show you. I think we do have a video out already on tile work, but there's it's kind of it's a lot of fun, and there's tricks to this. For instance, on this particular job, you notice I'm on a slope right here. This is going to be a showerless door going into this shower here. It won't be a door at all, shower door, because I didn't. Those things they get nasty after a while, and here we don't need one, but we do have a nice slope going down here. So if you're getting water over here, it'll just come right around to the drain. But that does create havoc whenever you're trying to get this bottom piece at the same elevation as the one over here. So what I generally do is I find my lowest spot in the room. I mean, hopefully they're pretty level and everything, but you could be a ½ inch off easy on a room this size. But anyway, so I started over here, and I found my lowest spot, and then I started right here, and then I measured up, and I just took me a little line across here. Actually, I used the top of this wing wall here, and then I measured down for the other where it needed to end, and that's how I made my start. So the rope that's down here is the same elevation as the rope over here, by measuring up and then over again. I hope that made sense. Anyway, and then just follow the line around, and hopefully when you get to the other end, they all line up level, so you have to really work hard at keeping everything level, and that's it. So we'll when we get a little bit more done, we'll show you. If you're interested in seeing more tile work, just let me know, and I'll be glad to show you. This is that Kerdi material that I love using. The only thing that happens when you use this is that whenever you overlap a piece, that creates an elevation difference. So sometimes you have to kind of skim down with your thin set a little bit, like I did right here. And you see the spot right here where I had to kind of float out a little bit, because what happens, it'll be high right here, and you try to put a piece of tile on, and it wants to teeter. So you don't get a good, you have to put a little bit more mud on both edges here to make it sit straight, or you have to float out more to create a more level plane. And the more level it is, the easier it is to work. And so anyway, this is there's great material here because you can just put this right over. I put it right over green board. Used to do it the old-fashioned way with the concrete board and all that stuff. But this is just a much better application. Good product. I've used it now about 20 times, and I really like it. It's a little bit of a chore to get it on and get it smoothed out correctly. It does take a little practice, and if you ever do this stuff, you probably need somebody who's done it before to give you a hand to kind of show you, or just watch some of the videos and you'll see how it's done. But anyway, it's a lot of fun, and it just this stuff here, if you don't penetrate it with any holes or anything like that, it's watertight. I mean, you could actually shower just with this alone. You seriously could, because it's like a PVC membrane with hair on both sides of it that makes your tile stick. And when you put it to your green board, you're putting it down with thin set, and so it makes a really great bond. You just have to smooth it out real good, and that's the work part of it. But anyway, when you're done, you really got you a solid shower, that's for sure. All right, see you later.